Everybody thinks real estate is this glamorous business that all we do is like walk in and the lights are on and we show houses and we walk around in stilettos all the time. That is, I can't even remember the last time I did that. I tell people all the time when they come into me to come and say, do you think I should go into real estate? Well, no, I don't, because unless you're willing to do this, this, and this, and get kicked in the teeth every day of your life, you're not going to make it. I wanted to teach my daughter that you don't have to give up your dreams for the dreams and desires of anybody else or for your family. You do not have to trade a career for family or a passion for a family.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of Glennda's Guru. I am so excited today. I have Gretchen Coley from Raleigh, North Carolina. I've got to tell you, I have been watching your videos, Gretchen, and I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love the advice that you give. I love that you're so straightforward. And really, you have done a lot in the video space. You built an amazing team in North Carolina, and there are lots of great things I want to talk to you about. But tell everybody, for anybody who's been living under a rock and hasn't had the opportunity to follow you on social media or get to know you, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on because you are such an icon for all of us, especially here in the South. So I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been here for 22 years. I've been in the real estate industry for 24 years. I started in new home sales and have haphazardly built a team to accommodate for all of my flaws. Right now, we're about 30 people, strong team members and agents. And, we really enjoy serving our clients, serving our community, and we absolutely love Raleigh and love sharing that.
Oh, that's awesome. So talk to me a little bit about, when did you start your team? You've been in the business 24 years. When did you start the Coley Group?
Well, that's a great question. I actually started my career in new construction sales. I worked for national builders, local builders, and in master plan communities, which is kind of how I met my husband. And I took a hiatus after the market crashed in like 2010, 11. I just got kind of tired. So I took a hiatus and I can't do nothing. So I was very into fitness and nutrition and built a fitness and nutrition company that was completely online using video. And in 2016, my husband came to me and said, I've got this neighborhood with some specs in it, and something's happened with my agent, and I really need you to come back into real estate. And I was like, stop it right there. Absolutely not. And then I kind of warmed up to the idea and I said, okay, but I'm only going to work 20 hours a week. I'm only going to do this. So don't expect me to go like set the world on fire. And of course, type A's like you and I, we can't dip our toe in the water, right? So I was all in. So I started back in 2016 and 17. We did about $4 million in business because I was afraid to call anyone because I had, left real estate, like going, I am never coming back. And in 2019, we started to build the team because slowly but surely I got over my fears. We started using video. And I really started tapping into my SOI and getting reinvigorated. And I do not like to work alone, Glennda. And you're probably a lot like me. I like to collaborate and I like to work in groups of people. And I think when you put together a team, gosh, you can just grow so much faster and you have so much more fun. So 2019-ish is when our team started.
Wow. So you've had this team about 5 years, and I know that you've got agents and staff. What is how many staff people do you have?
So we have 7 staff members right now, between transaction coordinators, inside salespeople who answer the phones, marketing, and videography, because that's such an important piece to our team. And then we have about 15 producing agents right now. So we do have people floating in and out. We have some fillers for on-site neighborhoods. We still do a lot of new construction business. And we've got some virtual assistants that help us. But we really run our team from the mindset of, I wanted to build this like a business, and I wanted agents to go be agents and do exactly what they need to do. I want them to go be in front of people, be negotiating, networking. And I wanted the team to be able to support all of the pieces of the transaction to make sure that when you work with someone on our team, you're getting the same experience, no matter if it's Jesse or Devin or me. It's a very consistent process that, really is white glove. And I know everybody says that, so I hate to even use that, but there's really not a better word.
No, you're exactly right. That white glove service, that concierge service, and I was talking with somebody this morning, and we talked about the number of agents that will get out of the industry probably over the next 12 to 18 months. And really, the cream is rising to the top. It always does.
Mhm.
And when you're running your business with that white glove concierge mindset, we are going to be absolutely the people that rise to the top. And it gives you a sustainability that most agents don't have.
I agree. And we're already seeing it happen, as I'm sure you are. We're already starting to capture market share because people are afraid. Agents are afraid. Even the good agents have a little bit of fear to them. And, I've just always been the type of person that I'm afraid. I have times when I'm in moments when I'm, scared of what's coming next. And then you just have to kind of push through it and run through the storm. And I think as the business starts to shift and it starts to change, as all businesses do, I think we are going to see a heightened professionalism that's going to come from real estate that you and I probably see a lot, but I don't know that the average consumer sees that on a daily basis, because I don't know that the industry has done a great job of articulating what our value is.
Yeah, the industry has done a horrible job at articulating our value. And that is why you have so many consumers thinking that the real estate agent is disposable. And I think
Mhm.
that the heightened professionalism, the better you are at your proficiency, at your skill set as an agent, we are going to be the ones that thrive during this. And to me, I think it's a wonderful thing, like a natural cleansing of the
Mhm.
badness. But let me ask you a question,
Mhm.
because I did a little bit of recon, and I saw some of your fitness and nutrition
Uh-huh.
journey online, and I
Yeah.
have to tell you, I nearly passed straight damn out. I can't imagine that
Oh,
you ever are fearful of anything, because
yeah.
I saw. I mean, my stars and stripes. You are
Yeah.
in amazing condition. What was it
Mm,
that What was it that drove uh,
mm.
that that journey for you?
Well, that's a great question. And it's something that I'm so proud of, Glenda, because I think, I've always had a passion for fitness, but I grew up poor. We didn't play sports, we didn't do any of that stuff. And I'd always wanted to compete in a fitness competition. And so it all started with this one little nugget. And started a family, had kids, gave birth to twins. And 2 years later, I was about 30 to 40 pounds overweight still. And I was on, antidepressants and all that stuff. And I think you can probably tell I'm not a depressed person,
Yeah.
but I figured out it was food. And so I set a goal for myself that no matter what, that I was in such a weak place that I was going to compete in a fitness competition on stage in a bikini and stripper heels. And I was going to allow people to judge me subjectively on what my body looks like, right? For any woman, that is probably one of the hardest things you can ever do. But I'm going to tell you, I started this journey January 1st of 2019. I competed for the first time on Mother's Day. And when I walked across that stage, it was such an invigorating feeling that I had just done something that was so hard that most people could never do. Not to mention all the workouts, carrying a cooler everywhere, all the stuff that you have to do. But I had just put myself out there in a way that I could be personally rejected, physically rejected, all of that stuff. And it led me on this fitness journey where I continued to compete because it gave me such a great, empowering feeling. And it's something that I've leveraged throughout the rest of my life, right? I still carry it with me. And I'm 49 years old now. So I was 35 when I started competing. So it's been a few years. I don't look like that anymore. But I'm back at it. Like I turned 49 this year, and I've told my entire team I've hired a new coach. Your hormones start to change as you get older, and I'm bound and determined to flip the script on 50 and really just utilize the nutrition and fitness to make me stronger because Glenda, we get beat up in this business.
Yeah.
What we're doing is not easy, right? We are mentally exhausted, we're physically exhausted, and everybody around us is taking.
Oh, yeah.
Your
Everybody
team
wants a
members,
piece.
everybody wants a little bit, and so you pour all this energy into everyone, and we put ourselves last. And so when I started competing, that was my thing was this is about putting me first. It's about changing me from the inside. And obviously, it's going to change the outside. And it did both, but it transcends everything. And so I'm kind of back into that journey a little bit of saying I've kind of been beat up for a few years because we've worked like crazy,
Yeah.
right? And the uncertainty. So it's we'll see. I'll talk to you in a year in March when I turn 50, and I'll let you know how it goes. But I think it's going to be fun.
When's your birthday?
March 24th.
March 24th. So I did my best self before 50, uh, right before I turned 50. And it was a hashtag, and it was like my best self before 50.
Yeah.
And I went through a complete nutrition change. I wasn't drinking, I wasn't eating anything white, and I felt so much better. Oh my gosh.
Isn't it?
It was amazing.
Well,
and I just cut out everything that was white, anything that was white, flour, sugar, salt, bread. And it was amazing how just my skin changed, my body felt. And you're exactly right. Really. And I think that a lot of people don't realize as at the level that we are performing at professionally, it's like we're a professional athlete, and you really have to take care of yourself. And it's so critical. And I think it's even more critical for women because as women, I remember when I was married, I said to my husband, he was like, oh, he had all this work and he had to do all this stuff. And I'm like, it must be nice to just have one job that you can focus on. Because as a woman, even if you're the CEO of your real estate group, you're also the CEO at home and of the kitchen and of the sports and all the extracurricular activities and making sure everybody gets where they're supposed to get. And for us, you're eating on the go. You're running like a maniac, trying to keep everybody, give everybody the best of you. And as a woman, I think that for us, the demands are definitely much more than people realize.
I agree. And I think we innately as women make it harder than it really is to take care of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Because we constantly put ourselves last. It's just our nurture nature, right? But it's really not that hard. Just like you said, it can be a hashtag. It can be letting go of processed food, taking white stuff out, taking sugar out. It can be taking alcohol out. It could be small little changes, drinking more water. We are chronically dehydrated. And it's a lot easier to just do a little bit for ourselves than we make it out to be. And so I would say I would encourage every woman who's feeling like they have been beat up and they are, struggling with their energy levels to just find one thing that they think could make a dent and be consistent with it for a couple of weeks. And then it's easier to find the next thing, right? And it's how you do anything is how you do everything, right? It's
Exactly.
one piece at a time.
Well, and that's not only about your nutrition. I mean, even if you're on social media, people ask me all the time, Glennda, how do you get consistent on social media? Focus on one platform at a time and master that, and then add in the next one, and master that, and then add in the next one. Same exact thing with nutrition and diet. So you are very involved with the Women of Compass. You are very well known for women's leadership in our industry. Tell me a little bit about that and how that kind of plays into not only your business, but your team and just kind of the dynamic of what your real estate career looks like.
Well, just like you, I love being around women. I do have two boys and one girl, so I got to stay with the guys a little bit too because I got to show them all the love. But I think women are really incredible, and Women of Compass really struck a chord in me because it pulls together this holistic approach to women, and we talk about all kinds of things. We bring in all kinds of speakers, and we really try to engage women where they are, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's running a team, whether it's managing their household, going through menopause, trying to get pregnant, all of those things from a health, spirituality, like every single aspect, and we bring them to the forefront because what I find is that women don't talk as much as we should, right? We don't communicate with each other about the things that are going on that we're struggling with because we're so focused on just keeping moving, and you can compartmentalize that. So for me, Women of Compass has given a platform for a lot of us agents who are really strong-minded and we feel like we're invincible to be a little bit vulnerable and to say, okay, I'm not in this alone. There are other people who have taken this journey before me. And as far as really growing women, like I am in the real estate industry because I love building things. I love seeing houses being built. I love neighborhoods being built. I love building community. I love building people. And so my team started as an all female team, and I know yours still is, and congratulations on that. We definitely have brought some guys in because we needed to balance things out a little bit, and I think there's something for everyone, right?
Right.
But the women are so special to me because I truly believe that we have been taught through society that when we choose to become a mother or we choose to become a wife, that we have to let go of a little bit of ourselves. And so when I started with this, with women's leadership, it was really because I wanted to teach my daughter that you don't have to give up your dreams for the dreams and desires of anybody else or for your family. You do not have to trade a career for family or a passion for a family. You can have it all, but you have to have the right support. And so I feel like for us as women, like especially at home, my husband doesn't want people working in our house. He doesn't want somebody coming in to help organize or whatever, but that's the only way that I can make it work, right? So that's been a big piece of really just encouraging women to find what they're passionate about and do it. So on this team, we feel like one of the things that and somebody else could correct me, but I think I'm really good at seeing in people what they don't see in themselves, especially in women. Because oftentimes when they come into a team, they come in a little broken or a little beat up, especially if they've been in real estate before. And I tell them, listen, I understand how you feel right now, but stay with me and lean into me because I see this, this, and this in you. And I see these things that need to be developed. And I'm great at giving constructive feedback, and saying, hey, this was this way, that you might want to think about this. And I feel like it brings them to a different place. And so I like to think of myself at this point in my career as, yes, I'm the CEO, I'm the creative director, but I'm also the hype girl. And I'm the one who's like the wind going, listen, we're getting out of our comfort zone. You're going to go do some things that you're not going to like. But I promise you, if you trust me, you're going to come out the other side of this and you're going to be so happy that you did. And so one of the most wonderful parts of my career is I get to see the team members do that. And I get to see my clients who are women buy their first house. And I get to see my clients who are women find their dream house for their family. So I kind of get to see it in all parts of it. But it's just being able to see a little bit of something they might not see in themselves, or they might not be able to process it and articulate it.
You know,
I know that was a lot.
no, no, Gretchen, the thing about it is that the true sign of a leader isn't that they show people their superpower, they show that person their
Yeah.
superpower. And I think that that is something that you have absolutely hit the nail on the head, is that you have this gift to show people their own superpower and really give them kind of that wind beneath their wings that they need
Mm-hmm.
to flourish. And I think that that is
Mm.
something that is so so critical in business. It's so critical for women, and it's such a special gift. So I love hearing that. It's so interesting because, video makes you feel like you know somebody.
Uh-huh.
And I have to tell you, when I knew that I was going to chat with you today, it was like, oh, but I know her. And then I was like, but wait a minute, I actually don't know her. And so what I love is that, and one thing that you have done so well on video is really making everybody feel like that they know you. And I
Mm,
applaud you for that. And it is
thank you.
exciting to watch. Let me ask you a question. What would you tell yourself if you had the opportunity to go back and
Mm.
whisper in that person's ear 24 years ago? What is the one piece of advice that you would tell yourself on day one, week
For
one,
real
month one?
estate, you
Yeah,
think?
absolutely.
I was hoping you would ask this question. I would tell myself, don't worry about what anybody else says or thinks. You go be you and you do it unapologetically. And the best thing that can ever happen to you is for people to try to take your knees out. Like, and I think as women, we're so prone to that being a really negative condemnation for us. Like, we don't want people to
No.
not like us. We don't want people to say you're never going to be successful at that or don't try it. I would say chart your course and figure out who you are, because in your 20s, and I started this in my 20s, you are still learning who you are, right?
Yeah.
And so I let a bunch of men tell me this is how it's supposed to be done, and I'm thankful for it because it got me to where I am today. But it was also, not maybe the best way for me. So I would say chart your course. And I want to say one more thing too, because I believe that if you want to be successful in real estate now more than ever, you have to be willing to burn the ships, right? You got to be like Tony Robbins says, if you want to take the island, you got to burn the ships. So you have to understand what is required of you, and you have to be willing to do anything, because this is the business. It's like you've said in a couple of your podcasts, it's very easy to get into, it's very hard to stay in. And so you don't want to make a bad decision. And I tell people all the time when they come into me to come and say, do you think I should go into real estate? Well, no, I don't, because unless you're willing to do this, this, and this, and get kicked in the teeth every day of your life, and you have the toughest intestinal fortitude, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, you're not going to make it. And so that is really, the synopsis is you have to be willing to do it all. Nothing can be beneath you, right? Because everybody thinks real estate is this glamorous business that all we do is like walk in and the lights are on and we show houses and we walk around in stilettos all the time. That is, I can't even remember the last time I did that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That is not real life.
it is not real life. It takes a lot of prospecting, and it takes a lot of putting yourself out there, and putting yourself in the right rooms and calling people and asking for business, and learning the market and knowing how to help guide someone through a transaction. And if you're not willing to do that on a consistent basis and work every weekend, when I first started in real estate, and you were probably the same way, I worked 6 days a week in a model home and I bartended at night. 5 days a week. So, it's, and so I think that really needs to be your mindset if you think that this is going to be a place for you, and then do that unapologetically, and don't apologize to your friends, your family, nobody.
I love it. I love it. That is exactly right. You are hit the nail on the head, because 100%. I don't know how many agents say, Glennda, how do you get into the luxury market, honey? Honey,
Yeah.
we all want to sell $1 million homes.
I
But
know.
when I was showing a $300,000 house this weekend, townhouse this weekend, all I'm thinking about is every penny makes a dollar. And it's those agents who are so
Yeah.
focused on, oh, I'm only going to sell in this area. I'm only going to sell $1 million homes
Mm-hmm.
when they first get into business. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, have you lost your
Mm-hmm.
damn mind?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's so important to you have to have all aspects of the business. Like I always say, you got to sell to the masses, not the classes, right? You have to have a little bit of everything because you get so much joy from that $300,000 townhouse that is a first time home for a woman or for somebody who thought that they were never going to be able to buy a home. That is such a happy place. And then God love them, but you do this $3 million one and it's like the hardest deal of your life, right? And every night you go to bed praying that things just work in your way and you work your hardest, but it is a lot. So you kind of need a little bit of all of it. And unfortunately for us, reality TV has done us no favors,
It
right?
hasn't. I mean,
And
you're right. I'm not selling
it, it
$250 million penthouses in my stilettos.
no,
Yeah.
no, but don't you get so much joy from those, whether it's investor properties or whatever, they all have a little bit of hair on them,
Yeah.
but it just gives you variety. And I think you and I are a lot alike in that because I've watched all your videos. I think you're just the guru. I told my kids this morning, I haven't really told anybody I was coming on here until this morning because it was like so crazy to think. And I was like, by the end of this, we're going to be great friends because she and I are so much alike. She just doesn't know me yet. And it's going to be amazing.
Well, I am excited that I had the opportunity to talk to you, Gretchen. Where are you going to be next? Are you speaking? Are you attending conferences? Kind of what is your schedule for the rest of the year?
So I'm gonna be in New York City, speaking at a Compass event. I'm gonna be in Sonoma at an event. I don't do a ton of traveling outside of Compass yet, but I do. I'm really enjoying the speaking part. I'm really enjoying kind of getting out and meeting agents at all stages of their business. It fills me up as if I don't have need if I need anything else to fill me up. But it's fun. I get to meet great people. So hopefully our paths will cross. I'd love to meet you in person. But I think next for our business is really we're leaning into the pivot of how do we make sure that the market understands what we bring to the table,
Yeah, I love that.
and really kind of taking that and using that to our advantage because I feel like we've been practicing on it for a long time in North Carolina, and I think now is the time to put your foot on the gas.
Absolutely,
How do
100%.
you feel?
I mean, I think that the best is yet to come for our industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thrilled at transparency. I
Mm-hmm.
am thrilled that the agents that suck will get naturally thrown out.
Yeah.
For me, I have been so blessed to do this over 30 years. It doesn't seem like
Mm-hmm.
work to me. Every day I wake up, I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited about business. So, I can't imagine not being in real estate,
Yeah.
but and maybe I'm just looking at it through my rose colored Elton John sunglasses. But I think that the best of our industry is going to be in the next
Mm-hmm.
5 years. And I can't wait to be a part of it.
I agree, and I have those same glasses. They're round and
Yeah.
they're, yeah, rose colored,
Yeah.
and that's how I choose to look at life because I think you're right. If you're not hopeful that the best is yet to come, it's going to be rough.
Yeah. I
It's going to
mean,
be a roller coaster.
no fun in that. Gretchen, thank you for
Mhm.
joining me today. I really appreciate it. It has been a pleasure to chat with you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Glennda Baker. I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. And today I had an amazing opportunity to talk to Gretchen Coley with the Coley Group out of Raleigh, North Carolina. You can find her on social media. She has the most amazing videos. I hope that you will follow her.
Mm.
My favorite place to follow you is on Instagram. But, ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen, this is Glenda's Guru in the Glennda Gazette, and I am excited to have had the opportunity to chat with you, Gretchen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Glenda.